So, as you know, I inconsistently upload videos because I have no idea how to make videos anymore. I have a big 2-liter of Dr. Pepper and my special stuffed animal that I've had for 20 years and my iPad. So I'm currently watching The Ritual, which is on Netflix. And the reason why I'm watching this is because of TikTok. I don't know who this TikTok person was, but all they said was that it was their favorite horror movie. And I was like, I have Netflix. I guess I could watch that. I know nothing about The Ritual other than it's Netflix, and I didn't even really read the description for it. I just turned it on. And as I was watching the intro, I decided that I wanted to try to make a video essentially of my reactions of the movie as I'm watching it. I've watched a grand total of maybe 10 minutes of this movie, and I'm going to tell you that I already have feelings about this movie. We are in spoiler territory, by the way. I'm not holding back. I don't care if you've never watched this movie. This is your only warning. I will also give you a disclaimer that I am not a professional film critic. I've never went to film school. I haven't gone to school at all. All I did was graduate high school and then be depressed for 10 years. Take any of my criticisms or my opinions with a grain of salt because it's not professional salt. I will never use clips from a movie because I swan to John, I will never fucking deal with DMCA because that would give me an aneurysm and I would die. I would just simply perish. First impressions before I even opened up the movie was The Ritual is a pretty generic name, but it's spooky enough to where I will definitely give this movie a try. I open up in a pub in England. Everybody's British, so I assume we're in England. If we're not in England, then I don't know where the fuck we're at. We open up with 5 characters. Don't get attached to one of them. I haven't learned their names, which is always a sign that these people are probably going to die because they haven't repeated the names enough for me to memorize them. Don't take that as a criticism. I'm just really bad with names. I watched maybe like 6 seasons of Game of Thrones, and I still couldn't tell you what the short guy's name was. So there's 5 guys, there's a blonde one. Remember the blonde one. Don't get attached to him though. These 5 pals are all drinking at a pub in England, as the Brits do, and they're discussing plans for vacation with their PTO, I'm sure, that they get from their jobs. After a good old sit-in, they all discuss plans for what they want to do, and no one can agree, and the blonde one says, how about we go hiking in Sweden? There's mixed reactions on whether or not we're gonna go hiking in Sweden, but I have a feeling we're going hiking in Sweden. So we have the main guy who looks like a Todd. I will correct the name as I learn it, but for now his name is Todd. Blondie and Todd go inside of a liquor store and are discussing going hiking, and Todd doesn't want to go hiking, but Blondie does because he wants to push himself. It's King's Trail in Sweden, yada yada yada. Anyway, that's not really the important part. The really important part is that this liquor store is being robbed, and somehow we didn't notice. There's a lady behind the counter who is very scared looking and beat up, and then 2 robber people come out. Todd hides behind shelving units, and Blondie's just out in the open. Blondie gets heckled by the robbers and give him his wallet, his watch, but when they ask for his wedding ring, he says no, and then proceeds to get slashed in the face and then hit with a pipe a la Last of Us 2 Joel style. Todd did nothing. He was in the background with a vodka bottle, really contemplating about being a hero, but ended up not being a hero. And this is what I had thoughts on, and then decided I was going to make a video. A little backstory on me. I have like I have a hero's complex. If I was Blondie, first of all, I wouldn't have died because I would have given him a ring. By the way, if you're being robbed, just give the robber everything. I don't care if it has sentimental value. Stop being a bitch. Just give him your shit. Now, if I was Todd, I don't have what people would call a filter. I don't think before I act. Don't be me. In a situation like this, you do not want to be the hero. You want to know why? Because you die when you're the hero. You want to know why? Because we're not fucking Captain America, okay? You're not a super soldier. You would probably die too. What I would have done if I was Todd was probably just throw as many alcohol bottles as I could at them. And then I wouldn't have a plan after that and likely die and get murdered. But Todd hanging back and not doing anything and being essentially too afraid to do something is such a normal response. And I'm not hating on my guy Todd. I am actually in love with the fact that Todd couldn't do anything. After we see Todd's reaction, Blondie dies, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, bam, that is title screen, The Ritual. So the group of 5 is now 4. We have 4 friends. They have marched all the way up, complaining as Brits do. We got to the point where Blondie wanted to go, and we put his scarf, a picture, and a couple of tea light candles, and they did something that was actually, this is what I want people to do when I die. I want you to go to some mystical mountain, put my picture out, and then drink for me, and then pour me one out. Pour one out for the homies, okay? I don't know why that scene made me emotional. I shedded a nice manly tear for it because I don't know. I just thought it was really nice that they, even though that none of them really actually wanted to go hiking, they still went hiking for their bro that everyone totally blames the death on Todd. Everyone's blaming Todd for this. So now I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to continue watching. Time will pass for me, but not for you. So I will see you in 1 second with a reverse timestamp. Okay? Okay. Like just real fucking quick because I'm 4 minutes away and so much has already happened. Someone twisted his ankle. His name is Dom. He's a fucking prick. I can't wait until he dies. Dom twisted his ankle and is being a little bitch about it. And so now we're going to be going to the lodge, which we saw, which is right through a haunted forest. I know that they don't know that they're in the horror movie. They are just characters inside of a story, but they are most definitely in a horror movie. I'm so excited to watch them all die. Sorry, there was a spooky noise that way. It was just the cats though. I'm sorry. It's only been like 4 minutes since I last talked to you, but like, I really had to say something. I will wait until like, I don't know, 30 minutes. I'll be back in 30 minutes. The reverse timestamp on this that Netflix is giving me is 1:10, which is about 14 minutes since the last time I said I was going to, well, like 10 minutes, not 30. But so much has happened and I need to tell you about it. First off, I've started learning their names. Dom is a whiny little bitch and I want him to die, and I have a strange feeling that he's not going to. I really hate it when the whiny ones don't die. We have, I think, is Phil, which is a guy who I think will also probably die. Hutch, which is our navigator in this so far extremely dumb move. He's the one who said that we could cut through the forest in order to get to the lodge. Todd is actually Luke, so I will try to call him Luke, but if I do call him Todd, then you know who I'm talking about. Last left you off with them going into the woods. I don't know how to use the lapel mic, so if the noise is wonky, I'm sorry! They went off into the woods because they don't know they're a part of a scary movie, but I do. We're going through the woods. Dom is bitching the whole time, and the rest of the Brits are just being British. Their British accents. When they're in the forest, they find a whole ass deer hung in the trees with its guts ripped out, and they all just kind of went, huh, and proceeded to not scream and circle back. Also, by the way, Hutch realizes that his compass doesn't work and was like, yeah, I'm totally going to go inside a forest that I don't know, that has no significant landmarks, to try to go to a lodge that I can't see because of the trees. Luke has spent most of his time brooding in the background with a cigarette between his lips because he is exceptionally guilty man and very broody. But this next part's really fun. Luke is kind of the one discovering all of these weird things, like there are etchings in trees, and if you know anything about Norse mythology, you're like, look at those Nordic ruins. If I had time or the willpower, I would look up what the ruins mean and probably get some insight into what we're talking about if the director is super into like little details like that, but I don't have the willpower and I do not care. Obviously, we don't look at etchings in a tree and go, wow, I think there might be some weird things going on. Maybe cannibals? I don't know. Maybe we should go. Nope, we're going to continue going without our compass and past the emboweled deer and into the ruins. Ah, we're so smart, isn't it? Now we found a haunted house in the middle of the haunted woods with the emboweled deers and the etchings, and we go inside this haunted house. Actually, we broke down the door to the haunted house, so the haunted house doesn't have a lock, which I feel like would be really important in the middle of the woods where there might be bears. Don't know, just think that would be nice. Yeah, so they broke down the door to this house because it started raining. By the way, it started raining. It's stressing me out that they went inside this house. They broke inside this house because it's pouring rain outside, and they're like, well, we need shelter No, what you need to be is not a fucking criminal. Our boy Luke, with a cigarette between his lips, is like, I hear the roar of a monster in the deepness of the forest, and I'm gonna tell my friends. And my friends aren't listening to me, so I'm gonna look out through the rainy forest with my flashlight while it's pouring rain in the middle of the dark, because I'm a smart boy. I paused right at the 110 mark because Phil, which is the guy that I think is probably gonna die if he goes upstairs, needs to go upstairs in this haunted cabin. I'm really excited to see what happens next. So I'll see you in a bit. I'll tell you what happens next in a second. I guess I'm gonna be coming back here every like fucking 10 minutes. Some more shit just fucking happened. So we're spending the night in the creepy old house, right? Remember when I told you that like 2 seconds ago? Right? We're in the house and we go to bed. Dear old Lukey boy is the only one who was rightfully fucking nervous to sleep in this strange haunted house. But the moment that he actually falls asleep, the lightning outside freezes and there's a buzzing noise, and then he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, hey Hutch, wake up. And Hutch isn't waking up, so then he like walks through the front door and it's the fucking gas station. What? It's the gas station where Luke totally didn't save his friend El Blondie. I think his name is Rob. Luke is like, what? And then grabs the vodka bottle that he remembers grabbing before Rob died and looks at it, and you hear what's like a stabbing noise. And at first I thought that this was a nightmare where it was recreating essentially his worst dream, which was that he was Rob and he's the one who died and got stabbed. But no, he actually did get stabbed in real life. He wakes up just like in front of the house and he's like, I've got like pokey marks. It's like someone with really, really long claws just went and then ran into the forest like a fucking creep. Luke is the first one to wake up from this absolutely horrid nightmare, which I forgot to tell you, there's a fucking effigy in the house. Remember when I told you that Phil had to go upstairs by himself and I was like, oh, he's totally gonna die. Well, he didn't totally die. What he did find was an effigy, which was a like a straw man without a head. The hands are antlers, and I think the feet are either really, really big bird feet or decomposed human feet. Couldn't tell you which, don't really care. Sure, I'll find out later. Hutch is sleeping and he is having the worst nightmare of his adult life, and wakes up and has pissed himself. I'm sure it was because he is accidentally committing tax fraud or something. That would make me piss myself. You go over to Dom, who's the bitch, and he is like scuttered to the corner, and you can see his knee, and his knee is like super bruised, so I'm guessing he actually hurt himself when he fell. He's still a bitch, but he actually hurt himself, so whatever. And he is like saying, Gail. So I'm guessing his worst nightmare is that Gail is, has been like, is getting hurt or something, and he can't do anything about it. But where's Phil? There's a train going by, so hold on while we wait for the train to go by so I can tell you what happened to Phil. Coop, what happened to Phil? What happened to Phil? Coop? What happened to Phil, Coop? Can I get you to meow for the camera? And this has been your Koopo break. Koopo and trains. What happened to Phil, guys? Phil is upstairs, and he is worshiping in like a prayer thing to this effigy and having the worst nightmare of his life, probably. And we wake him up and he's like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this like this? Everyone's obviously really confused, and that's where I left off. I was just so excited to tell you guys that shit is finally going down. And by finally, I mean this movie's an hour and 34 minutes long, and I am at the, if I keep my iPad on the like home screen, it tells me where I'm at. So I'm actually at the 32-minute mark. So at the 32-minute mark, shit's actually going down. Sweet. Don't have to wait too long, guys. This movie gets right to the fucking point. Yeah, Mog? I'm gonna continue the movie. Okay, I'm gonna continue the movie as per Mog's request. I'll be back. To update, first I got a pin for my lapel because I hate holding my pin, and I accidentally unplugged my light, so I don't know if it's the same lighting. It's not been a long time since I've left you. We're at 36 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm just talking to you guys every 4 minutes, it's fine. I think we're right at the precipice of shit actually going bonkers. I hate Hutch. We're just gonna get that out there. I can't wait for him to die. Phil's probably my favorite character. I really like Phil. I like Luke too. Luke's pretty cool. I hate Dom. Anyway, what are we doing? They all wake up and they all pack up really fast because that shit is fucking creepy, if you know what I mean. All of the shit that just happened, bananas. Hutch doesn't want to talk about it and is like, yeah, you know how you woke up completely butt-ass naked praying in front of an effigy and our other friend Luke got like stabbed 5 times in his chest? Yeah, that's all in your fucking head. It's just nightmares. I don't want to talk about it because I woke up in piss. Anyway, if I have to pull rank, I will. Dom, the bitch, is actually the one kind of driving the plot, which is unfortunate. I hate when the plot is driven by the bitch. Dom is really, really, really afraid of what's happening, which, I mean, fair. Okay, sure. I would be afraid too. Yeah, I'd be afraid of this. There's a new path that they did not see in the middle of the dark woods. Also, there's 2 paths. One where all the felled trees are going because the monster is obviously going that way. And the path that I think is going along parallel it. I actually didn't get a good look because I was more concerned about thinking these exact thoughts as Dom was like, we're going to go down this path because this is a path and that means it's going to civilization. My exact thoughts were as follows. Dom, you fucking bitch. That is a haunted path near a haunted house. What is your fucking problem? I have 2 additional thoughts that are not exactly related to the movie that I thought were funny. I have subtitles whenever I watch things on Netflix because I like to watch everything subbed instead of dubbed. I don't know what to tell you. I love that the main subtitle in this movie is ominous music is playing or eerie music is playing. I fucking love subtitles like that. I love it. It makes me laugh every time. And another additional thought is I don't have any more additional thoughts. Okay, I'll be back. All right, we're back. Sorry for the handprint. I watch movies like this, so I didn't bruise myself in the like 10 minutes that I left you. 43 minutes, and it's spicy in here with the feelings. I want to reiterate that I don't think that it's Luke's fault that Rob died in a robbery that went wrong. I think the main reason that, at least I'm aware of, is that people tend to forget that there are 3 different responses to fear. There's the fight, flight, or freeze. And our dear Lukey boy just had the freeze response, and it's a completely normal response. Dom, however, does not have the same sentiments as me, and he does blame Luke for his death. Phil doesn't really seem to have an opinion. Phil kind of just wants there to be peace. He's my main boy, my squeeze. I would totally give him a hug. Hutch, however, as much as a bitch as he is, I think has the same sentiment as I do. He knows that it's not Luke's fault, but he is still a little bit resentful towards Luke. However, he has the logical mindset to be like, yeah, I know it's not your fault, but I don't know if you should have done something. So when we get to the build up to the spicy feelings, we're walking in the middle of the woods and Dom needs to take a break because he's a little bitch, despite knowing that there's something out there in the woods that is tracking us, whether it be human or not. Hutch tries to deny everything because he's trying to keep people from panicking, but he's being kind of an ass while doing it by completely invalidating Phil's feelings. Am I a little back and forth on Hutch? Yes. Would I still punch him in the face? Yes. Obviously, Luke needs a fucking break from Dom's bullshit and tries to go uphill to a ridge that they think they can see in the distance. Takes a straight line there. And then there's a fucking hand in front of a tree. It's like this, right? And it goes slithers behind the trunk, and then a huge tree just kind of falls over. Not really huge, just like tall, and it falls over, and he's like, ha, fuck, and runs, goes back, and is like, guys, there's something in the woods. And Dom's like, no, there isn't. Luke is like, then explain this, and shows off his man titty that has 5 puncture wounds, nice little stabby holes, and Luke's like, you did that to yourself. My boy, I cannot wait until you die. I hope he dies. If he survives, I will give this movie a 0 out of 10. Okay? A fucking 0 out of 10. So far, it's pretty good though. And then Dom says his feelings that, Rob we wouldn't be here in this situation if you stood up for Rob, and then he dies. Because Dom is unwilling to take the fucking fact that he twisted his fucking knee on purpose so that way they could get home faster, because he doesn't want to hike, because he's a fucking bitch who doesn't like hiking. Disclaimer, you can totally not like hiking. That's fine. I just really don't like Dom, okay? Please let there be cannibals. and let him be eaten, because otherwise he is just going to waste. Anyway, I'll be back. Love you. We got a creature sighting, except we didn't see the creature. I'm going to give this movie extra points. Even if Dom doesn't die, this movie still gets at least a 1 out of 10 if Dom doesn't die, because they haven't shown the monster, and that's like my favorite thing. I love that this giant monster has absolutely no fucking, I have no idea what this thing fucking looks like. I have nothing in my mind's eye. Anyway, let me explain what happened before I go into a huge frenzy on how I love the don't show the fucking monster trope. We stopped for the night because of course we did. We're fucking lost and we're gonna be in these woods forever until we all die one by one. Moving on. Lukey boy punched Dom in the face, as he should. Good boy gets 10 points to Gryffindor. As we set up camp, Hutch is like, hey look, okay, Phil's got blisters on his feet the size of Montana. Dom's leg actually looks kind of bad. It's just getting worse. The bruise went from yellow to friggin' black and purple, so okay, maybe he is in a little pain. Maybe I'll give him a little bit of merit. So Luke, you are the strongest out of all of us. How about you go and get help and we'll stay here and I will watch after them. And Luke is like, you really do think I'm the strongest? And Hutch is like, Hutch says yes, but in his mind I bet he's like, no, bitch, I'm just afraid. Hutch is so terrified and he's too much of a man's man to like really get into it. Now let me get into things that I really like right now. I really like that this seems to be an exploration of this motherfucker's grief. Luke is going through it. Luke is our main character and he is going through it, okay? He keeps seeing his friend fucking die and it is horrible every time. We fall asleep and Luke has another dream where he sees his friend die again, except this time the robber looks directly at us and he has like no pupils or whatever because this is a spooky scary dream, and is like, coward. And then there's this he like opens up his tent, looks outside or something, and then like hears this monster roar, goes back into his tent, and like one of the other tents gets pulled out into the darkness and he wakes up because it's all a nightmare. Ooh. And then you find out that Phil is on the ground praying again, except he is screaming his fucking head off, which is what woke up Luke in the first place, and is like, yeah, that thing was fucking here. I didn't see it. It was just a shadowy, spooky guy. And then we find out that Hutch is dead. He's not dead. Hutch is missing. There's a blood stain in his tent and it's all ripped up and there's no Hutch to be found. And then we wake up Dom, because of course we did, because I guess he's still our friend or something. And then you hear Hutch scream in the distance. And then the screaming stops, so he's obviously fucking dead. And Luke, my boy Luke, is like, in his mindscape, he doesn't say anything, but you can see it on his face. He's like, I'm not gonna let another friend die like this. And so he sprints off into the forest and Phil and Dom are like, hold on a second, wait, you're gonna get lost. It's fucking dark in the middle of the woods and there's a spooky guy out there. Dom is over here being like, we gotta go back to the tent and get our bearings because all of our supplies are at the camp. And you're still a coward. I fucking hate him. Anyway, Dom seems to get self-preservation a little bit, and we're going back to the tents. I'm sorry if I say the word bitch a lot, and that bothers you. I'm just so upset at this fucking guy. Monster attack just happened, and I stopped whenever it was daybreak. The timestamp for this stop was 50:40, so I'll be back in a minute. Hi. So you don't know what I've just been through, but I'm going to tell you. First, I brought a charger because my phone is going to die and that's what I'm recording on. Also, I apparently ran out of space and filled up 64 gigs on my phone. So I just spent the last 10 minutes deleting so much shit off my phone, and now I have like 30 gigs free. That's what happens when you back shit up on Google Drive, I guess. I literally left you a minute and we found Hutch's body. Hutch has been disemboweled like the deer of before. The before times. The before Hutch was dead times. So we waited until day to pass and we found Hutch. He's dead because we followed the broken branches and stuff. I actually really like this. They let the characters actually have some time to express their horrified horror of this horror that's happening before them. The horror! They find our dear boy Hutch disemboweled, hanging up in a tree, and feels like that thing left it there for us to see. And Dom is like, you fucking stop. And Luke is like, shut up, Dom, he's right. We throw some sticks on top of Hutch's body, and that's where I left you. And then I tried to record my reaction to that, and then I ran out of space on my phone, and my phone is dying. So I'm about ready to do some fucking magic and put my phone on a charger while I'm watching and hope it's enough. So that way my phone can stay alive so I can keep doing this video. See you in a bit. Jesus Christ. The light fucking murdered me. So we have been walking very briskly towards the southwest, just like Hutch told us, and we found some water, and obviously we have to drink the strange fucking water. Rule number 1, don't drink strange water. You will give yourself dysentery and you will die. We found some footprints, and footprints, man. Luke and Phil are on the same page of this being like a creature of some sort, and Dom still think it's just pagan hillbillies, which rude. That's rude. There's spooky noises over there. I'm gonna pretend they don't exist. So the director of this movie has a nice little habit of having long shots of essentially nothing. And the way that has been built over it, the entire movie, is that I have always been expecting something to move in the darkness or in the background, because that's how the shit usually goes. And I am right. Saw a giant fucking deer dude just in the background. He's on like 4 legs, so he's not like a bipedal deer dude. This guy is fucking massive, very big. We went on the top of this hill, and now we can see the end. So that means that Hutch was right. Now, however, we see strange lights in the forest ahead, which makes me think that the cultists are among us. Yeah, Dom might be right about the whole pagan hillbilly things. Anyway, I'm gonna go continue watching. It's just I feel like this was a turning point, and I'm more excited to see what's gonna fucking happen. I'm at 1 hour. We have 34 minutes left, guys. Oh my god, so much shit just Ben, first off, Phil is dead. He got like shkabobbed and zooted right into the woods. It seems that Luke is able to break out of the dream state a little more. That happens. I think whenever you look into the deer's eyes or something, or anytime you fall asleep, the deer is able to like take your worst fears and make you paralyzed or something. By the way, I think it is a huge fucking deer. Dom is the only one alive with Luke, which is most unfortunate for me. And we're running. This guy with a fucking broken leg and Luke are both arm in arm running away as fast as they can. Do you remember those really weird lights I told you about? Those really weird lights are actually little tiny fire pits leading the way to a spooky haunted house. Except the deer, the big giant fuck off deer, is right behind us. So we need to get into this spooky haunted house, because I'd rather deal with fucking ghosts than that guy. We make it very suspenseful. A lot of ominous music was playing, as the subtitles loved to tell me. We fall inside the house, and now the deer is not chasing us magically. And then we find that there's a really old lady like in front of this big wood carving, like wood relief carving, and there's a record playing folk music in a very spooky fashion, and then we saw some leather boots and they kicked our face, because of course they did. I forgot to mention a detail from earlier. We found an ID of we found a wallet and an ID, a credit card for a person named Anna, and it was like from 84. The expiration date was from 84. Who knows when she fucking came in there. I'm thinking that the old lady is Anna, or these forest pagan hillbillies, whatever. They are surviving in the woods as best they can. I have a thought. When I actually do go camping, I'm probably not going to be able to sleep, because there's so many movies that are like, hey, look at this spooky shit happening in the woods. I've never been camping. I've never been to a woods either. The closest I've been to the woods is San Antonio. So color me not excited to go into the woods and be like, ah shit, spooky deer. Anyway, gonna continue watching. I'll be right back. Oh, I didn't pick up my mic before I started recording. We got kidnapped. Do you remember when I told you about the people who kicked us in the face? Well, it turns out this is actually an Appalachian horror movie, even though we're in the mountains of Sweden. Appalachian horror is essentially mountain folk are spooky, and they're spooky, and they got spooky ways, and generally they're the bad guys or whatever. I don't know. That's not really the point. What the point I am trying to tell you is, so we're in a holding cell of some type, and an old lady comes in with two really ugly motherfuckers, and the old lady essentially shows that, hey, she has the little 5 puncture holes as well, and gives water to Lukey dude, and Dom does not have the puncture wounds, and they're like, well, time to beat the shit out of you. So they take him upstairs, and you hear Dom being tortured. There's this blonde lady, however. This blonde lady is like, hey, they're gonna like sacrifice him or something, so it'll be over soon. And she like puts her hands over his ears. It's really sweet in a fucked up kind of way. I like her. Dom is back, and he said the words, "I never told you what my nightmare was," and I wanted to stop before then because I think I might try to not do another recording until the end because we got 23 minutes and I feel like we're right at the cusp of the rest of the movie. So I'm gonna put my phone on the charger. I'm going to resist the urge to blab at you, and I'll see you on the flip side. Just like that, I finished the movie, just like I said I would. I will go ahead and describe the last 20 minutes of the movie, and then I will give you my final thoughts. I think I left you guys with Dom got tortured and is going to tell us about the nightmare with Gale. He sees the creature in his dreams coming, gripping, and killing him, which is always a fun time. And then he tells Luke to tell his wife that he loves him, and Luke is like, no, I am going to save you because I am tired of losing my friends because I am a coward or whatever. He's not a coward, but you know what I mean. I just wanted to point out that after Rob dies, Luke spends the entirety of this movie trying to prove that he is not a coward. He goes out of his way 99% of the time to be the brave guy. We finally see the creature. This creature's fucking design is absolutely fucking amazing. It is so cool. This girl is like, yeah, this is a Jotun, a bastard son of Loki. And yeah, sure, that looks like what a bastard son of Loki would look like, you know, sure. They are actually worshiping some sort of Nordic god, I guess minor deity. I don't know, that thing is scary as fuck. From what I gather from the tiny bit of lore that we were given, essentially the creature marks those who went through immense pain, and I guess it's gonna take it all away. I don't know, we didn't get a lot of explanation. We didn't know much more about the society. It was just a mystery mountain society full of wacky people. After Dom is subsequently shish kebabbed on a tree, the blonde girl tells us that the ritual will happen and that we will bow down to this forest deity. I don't know if you know this, but Dom told us that we had to set the entire place on fire, and so obviously we got to do that. So we stage an escape, and we set fire to these raspy, creepy little things. I don't know, other effigies that had human teeth and breathed. It was really weird. And they were very flammable. And then we ran away from this monster. And essentially, Luke, I guess, accepts that what happened to Rob happened. I think for a long time, he just didn't accept it. And then when he was being chased by the monster, and then the monster tried to force him to kneel, he stands up the first time, and then the monster like shoves his face in the mud, and then he like locks eyes on Rob's dead body, and he like finally, I think, gets it. Whether or not it's his fault doesn't matter, it happened, blah blah, and then gets up and axes the fucking thing in the face. Super cool. And then he runs out of the forest, and I guess the aggro area is only in the forest. So we got away, and he survived. He's the only one who survived. Everybody else got shish kebabbed. This movie, fucking great. Dom died. That was my only stipulation. 10 out of 10. I am such a sucker for anything Nordic related. So the fact that they were like, yeah, this is the bastard son of Loki, I was like, tight, cool, sweet. I dig it. This was really fun. Oh God, what the fuck happened? Hold on. I gotta pause. A nightlight came on and it made everything super orange, and I just wanted to make sure that it didn't mess with the recording, so I had to turn that off. Anyway, moving on. I like this movie. Thank you, mysterious TikTok woman, for recommending that I watch this movie. Oh my God. Also, this is a very, very fun video format where I just watch the movie, pause it when I want, and talk to you guys about it, because I'm the same way in real life, and I hate bothering people who are watching a movie with me being like, hey, this Nordic ruin, that's a Nordic ruin. But I can like pause it myself and talk to you guys. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let me go back to my final thoughts, because I actually have some thoughts about this movie. I think that this movie has some low-key symbolism in grief. Kind of. It's not really it's not symbolic of the 5 stages of griefs, unless it is, and I missed it. I'm not a fucking English teacher. I don't look that deeply into things. I do think this movie is an exploration in Luke's grief and guilt into Rob dying because he wasn't able to do something, and his relationship with his friends because of it. This happens 6 months after Rob dies, so not too long. I would give someone about 5 years before they can maybe get over someone's death who they were very close with. And from what I can gather, Rob and the crew had been friends since university or whatever, and they all look like they were in their mid-30s. So the whole horror aspect obviously was just spooky for spooky's sake, but I do think it was a journey of Luke realizing that it was okay that Rob died, that he did nothing. Cause, shit happens. Kind of want to look up a little bit more into this movie, because I feel like there's a lot of symbolism that I am missing, that I am simply not an English major. I'm just not an English major, guys. I can't fucking look at subtext and go, yeah, I see that. I'm just a normal ass fucking person. I think this is a movie you should watch if you like horror movies. Don't be a fucking prick and be like, well, this movie doesn't scare me. Fucking watch things, enjoy things. Would I say this movie scared me? There was one scare that was completely my fault. Essentially, it was super, super silent. There was no music. It was zooming in on his face, and I was waiting for the monster to attack, and instead he was unzipping his tent, and this zipper sound made me jump. Yikes. There's a good bit of tension. I'm sure that the tension would have risen a little bit higher had I watched it uninterrupted by myself. I interrupt myself watching this to help alleviate the tension, because I don't deal well with anxiety, and yet I love horror movies. All about anxiety. Do I find this movie particularly scary? No, I do find it really interesting, and I wish I knew more about the monster. I think it would be really cool to explore this monster, but I don't want any more content from this monster. I don't want any more content about this forest. Not because I think it's scary, but because I think it would ruin this movie. Give me short stories or like a book of something about the creature in this movie, and I totally fucking read it. For all I know, this is based on a book. For all I know, this is a Netflix original movie. The last Netflix original movie I watched was Bird Box, and I also did a video about that. So looky there. I think I'm probably gonna try to do this style of video more often. Who knows? I am a fickle, aloof, cryptic being. I do what I fucking want. I just really needed to make some content, and I really wanted to watch this movie with someone, and I didn't want to bother my friends. I know that they don't mind me bothering them, but I didn't want to bother them anyway. And here you go. Sometimes I'm just too depressed to leave my living room. My living room has a really nice soft rug that I lay down on and watch YouTube videos. I didn't want to watch YouTube. I wanted to watch a movie because this movie has been kind of on my mind. So I know that there's probably some people who really like horror movies that are going to be like, this movie sucks because it's not actually scary or blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Okay? I'm allowed to enjoy things. People are allowed to enjoy things. Okay? This movie's cool, all right? Fuck off. I really do hate people who are like elitist about horror movies and they're like, I've watched something totally worse. Shut up. No one cares. No one cares. This is gonna start turning into a rant of how much I hate people, just people in general, especially elitist people. because I think that even the most stupidest of movies can scare you. Mars Attack. That's right. I was scared of Mars Attack. I watched one scene where that guy fucking bit off that other guy's finger. Maybe I should do a movie about my childhood traumas and all the weird scenes from movies that I've watched that have completely scarred me for life. Because that was one of them. I will never watch that fucking movie. You know what? I haven't actually been rating things for very long. My stutter much. I haven't been rating things a lot because I'm not a professional review channel and I think numbers are arbitrary. I think anything 5 and above is, because 5 is like average. So above that is more. I really enjoyed my time with this movie. I don't know if it's because this is the first movie I tried to do this format of video with, but I'm gonna give the whole experience. You know what? There we go. I'm gonna give the movie experience. How excited this movie made me to talk to you about it, how many times I had to interrupt because I was excited, and how the movie felt. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. That's right. I enjoyed it more than Where the Crawdad Sings, but I think her name is Delilah Owens. If I was to compare Where the Crawdad Sings to this one, I would probably lower Where the Crawdad Sings from an 8 point whatever to like a 6.9 because I enjoy this way more. No, I'd probably give Where the Crawdad Sings like a 7.4 or something like that. But this gets a solid, just all around 9 out of 10. I enjoyed the movie. I did hate Dom, but I really do like movies that kill off characters I hate. So I guess that's gotta going for it. Yeah, so I guess that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. Please let me know in the comments below. I will be trying to make more videos, but as you know, I'm a fickle being and I will make what I want when I want. I've been doing a little bit of a rebrand. I have new art and all of that good stuff, especially on Twitch. I've been taking a huge hiatus from content making, except on TikTok, because TikTok's super easy for me to do. I have a Patreon. You can support me through Patreon. $1 is all that is needed to gain access to a whole bunch of different content that I'll eventually be doing after my hiatus. $5 goes to my editor, Pika Devil. I don't know what movie I'm going to do next because there's a lot of Netflix movies. There's just a lot of movies in general I haven't watched that I don't think anybody of my friends want to really watch with me except like to hang out with me. So I'll probably just pick another Netflix original horror movie because I love horror movies. I love horror, but I haven't watched a lot of horror movies. I play a lot of horror games. I haven't watched a lot of horror movies. So I think I will be working on a whole bunch of horror movies. Who knows? Maybe I'm just a horror channel from now on. Hi, Kupo. The heart, just for you. Save her later. Use right now. I don't really care. It's your heart. You do you. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. So I'll see you later. Okay, bye.